Hello everyone, today's video I'm gonna mix colors. The reason is because I put up a video a few days ago that is for completely beginner nail technicians, and somebody left like a huge comment on it asking for help because she lost her kit and she had to rebuild it. She doesn't have a lot of money to cover herself. So in this video I'm gonna show you how to mix colors. Why is it so good for us? Because it's gonna develop your skills and it's gonna save you a lot of money. I started color mixing about 5 years ago, and I'm going to show you a bunch of work of mine that shows you that it's really popular if it comes to nail clients because they love watching you while you're mixing them, and they will always ask for something you don't have because they want to see you mixing. The other thing is that you can create things with color mixing that you wouldn't be possible to do if you only have certain colors. So first of all, here's my little palette where I mix everything. You can see that I bought it a few months ago and it's already looking so rough. This is the best thing I ever spent money on. It cost me £4 and you can buy it on Amazon if you are interested. If you don't have one, I suggest to get one of these, and I will leave the link down below and you can buy it for yourself if you like it too. So colors. We have three primary colors, which would be red, blue, and yellow. And we call these primary colors because you cannot mix two colors together to get blue. So basically the blue is blue because you cannot mix it. The red is red because you cannot mix it. So these are the primary colors. There are other two colors that I involve, which is black and white. You can't, so if you mix all the colors together, you would get black, but the white is white. So what we have to learn here today is that if you start to mix these colors together, you're gonna get different colors, and this is what we want. So for example, I'm gonna show you if you mix blue with red, I'm sure you know you would get purple. So if I start to mix these together, I will get purple. It's not going to be the most beautiful purple ever, and I believe you would see it a little different the way the camera picks it up. But if you mix red and blue, it becomes purple. Now I'm going to put a little bit of white to it, and you will see the purple better. You see? Now it become completely purple. There you go. This is a purple color, and we just used red and blue to mix it. Now you have a beautiful purple. And I'm gonna leave this here if I can. Okay, now we're gonna mix blue and yellow. And if you mix blue and yellow, it will become beautiful green. Actually, it's a bit more turquoisey, but it's still green. And now the next combination will be what we never done before. It is gonna be yellow plus red. And if we mix these two together, it will become orange. Actually, the red was too much, that's why it become more like a corally color. But if you put more yellow, there you go, it will become more like an orange. There you go, here's your orange color. Now these are the basics, and now we can level up. I have this green and I put a little bit of red and I start mixing. Try to show it to you. And it becomes a beautiful purple. So now I got this purple shade, and I'm gonna put yellow to it, and if everything works right, it becomes brown. It's not the most beautiful brown, but believe me, there are people who love this color. And I'm still mentioning that we only play about with red, blue, and yellow. And now you already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors from it. But the story doesn't end here. So what we have so far, you buy red, blue, navy blue, and you buy yellow, and you buy a black and white. White is perfect to lighten colors if you want lighter shades, and black is perfect if you want to make them look darker. So you only spend money on 5 colors so far, and you already have loads. Now try to imagine I have this purple here, and if I add more and more white to it, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. If I want to put more white to this one, it would get a more faded orange. If I put more white to this corally, deeper burnt orange color, I don't even know how should I call it, it will be more faded and it looks beautiful. I have this turquoise here. If you add more blue to it, I show you, it will look different because it will become a little bit darker. So that's the magic if you mix colors, that depends on how much darker shade you put in or how much lighter, it will completely influence the final result. See, now we have a third shade. Or if I get a little bit of green and I put it into navy, it will become a different shade again. But I have a royal blue here, and I can show you it is a different kind of blue, you can see. And what happens if I mix it with yellow, because in this case it will become more that kind of green you imagined in your head. And here we are. Here is your green. That's the difference between navy and royal blue. So this is fun so far. I'm gonna remove all this thing, and simply I just use a cleanser and a paper towel, and it beautifully removes everything. I done this a few days ago, so that's why it's not coming off, but I will clean it whenever I have a little bit more time. I highly suggest to buy neon colors, because if you have neon colors, you can make them very easily turning into pastel colors, and you will see it in a second how. Let's take this green, and you can tell it's really bright. There you go. And you get your white, and you start mixing. And now you have a light green. If you want it darker, you go more darker. The thing is that if you have a dark color, you can still make it light. But if you have a light color, you can't really go backwards. So if you have a neon color, and if you have a light green, you can't really make it neon. But if you have a neon one, you can make it a light or a powder green or a light green or a grass green. And also never forget, you can still mix the blue into it and it will become turquoise. So the rules that we learned a few minutes ago, they didn't go away, because now I nearly created the same shade. Okay, it's a little bit lighter because I put more white to it, but I still have it. You can see it better like that. There you go. I have a really crazy orange in here, and I put this one here, and I put some white, and I can create a nice lovely orange from the neon. There you go. Now you have a lighter orange. If you want to make this like a coral color, I show you. I have a coral color here, And I'm gonna put this on the side, and I can make this color look like this without buying it. Oops, sorry. That was my bad. The only thing you need is some pink, and you pick up a little bit and you start mixing. The only secret is I do better if I put more orange to this one. I think it's missing a little orange. And look at this. I am there. So that's why you don't have to buy a coral color, because you have white, orange, and pink, and you mix them together and you have your own coral color. And now you saved another £10 because you don't have to buy another color. Neon purple and white. I start mixing and I get a beautiful lilac color. There you go. But if your client goes like, yeah, this is lovely and all, but I imagine that this lilac color would be a little different shade, don't be scared, because you can easily change the shade if you put down a little bit of pink and you pick it up and you mix the pink into the purple. And now you can see that it's still purple, but it has a little bit different shade of purple. And now I'm going to show you what happens if I mix the green with the pink. I need more of these. It will become brown. Again, depends on how much green you put together with how much pink. But now you can see we have a lovely pinkish nude, which is beautiful. There is a trick with black. You put down a teeny tiny bit of black and you get your yellow color. Oops, this is what I didn't want to do. And you start mix and you will get a green color. It's not going to be the most beautiful one, but it's going to be like a military green. The point is more yellow and less black. I'll show you what happens if you add more yellow. Here it is. I don't know who counts, but I believe we at least mixed another 20 colors so far. But now here's your military green color. If somebody loves that, all you need is yellow and black. More black, less. And now you have two different shades. And if you want to mute it down, simply you put white to it and it becomes more muted and more light. You can see the difference here. And I have a lighter shade. You can even call this olive green, but here it is. There's another way to mix olive green actually. So to achieve olive green, you need blue, yellow, and black. And this is what happens first if you put too much blue. but I can see the end result. The only thing you can do, sometimes the things won't go perfect, but you can always fix. My apology. So this one was with the royal blue, and this one is with the navy blue. And I already mixed it together. You need more yellow, less blue, and you get your little black, and you start mix the black into the green. And when you are mixing, always make sure it's going to be cohesive, so don't leave these little stripes in it. And now you have your olive green. And of course, the same thing will happen if you mix it together with the darker shade. And now you have the colors you wanted. Um, Believe me that I know that the gel polish factories and brands do exactly the same, but they mix 2 liter of this color together, not just like a little patch like what we do here. But once you buy these kind of different shades, they do exactly the same thing, but they play in big. So that's what I'm saying. You can do it yourself. Doesn't make any sense to buy too many colors because you're never gonna use all of them. I still have at least 50 colors in my drawer that I never even opened. I built them 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they never been opened because this is not what people want. People want to see you mixing, and it makes you look so much more professional. Believe me, your clients will love this. But now let's mix a little bit more. I know that everybody knows if you mix black with white, it becomes gray, but I would like to show you something that can be very, very helpful down the line. So obviously you can tell that it's a completely simple gray, but you can level this thing up, and I show you how. Because basically this gray is completely simple, boring gray. Here's a darker version, lighter version. What you can do is that you put a little bit of yellow and you mix it into your gray, and it will change the tone of the gray a little bit. It becomes a little bit like a khaki color, which can be lovely too, but I go more further because you can add a little bit of blue to it, and it will change the game because it won't become light blue, but it's going to be a more cold toned gray. It's still gray, but it has a colder tone. And you can add this to the dark one as well, and it will work perfectly. Exactly the same way like with the light. It is not a big change, but sometimes all you need is this much change. And now the tone changed a little bit. I mixed another gray, and what happens if you put pink next to it? Not next to it, into it. It will be still gray, but you can tell that now the tone started to change. You can put purple to it, you can put green to it, because black and white goes with everything. It doesn't matter what you mix in it, it will work well. And now you have like a pastel powder grayish pink, which is nice. And if you have a brown, this is like a chocolate brown, and you mix it with white, you will get nude. So if you don't have nude, but if you have white and brown, you can get a nude in 2 seconds. And there you go. Now you have a nude. It's a latte or like a milky coffee color. And this is a very light nude. So if you watch this video and if you made it so far, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. I'm here to help you. And if you have any kind of challenges with colors or with anything, just say. Also, if you have sparkly colors, the mixing works with sparkly colors too. The only thing you shouldn't do is that you mix a solid color with a sparkly color because it won't work. So don't do that. But for example, if you have sparkly pink and sparkly blue, and if you mix them together, it's gonna be purple, sparkly purple. So everything works the same way with sparkly colors like it worked with solid colors. And now you have 75 different shade of nude. But I make this a little bit more crazy because if your client goes like, I'm not sure about this shade, you can have a little pink and you mix the pink in and it makes it more like a pinkish nude. So your client cannot complain anymore. And now you have a pinkish nude. There you go. So don't worry, just start mixing. At the very start, it takes a little while to pick up on how much you have to put from the darker one or the lighter one and these kind of things. Don't be scared because it is easy, but at the start you will have maybe you will have some problems with the portions, but after a while you will just know how much to put on. Because the other thing I really like in this, that if one of my client wants just two nails with this color and she wants another color on the other three nails, I can judge easily how much I have to mix just to cover four nails with this color, and I don't have too much access. At the start, it will be a little bit of difficulty to find out how much to mix, but believe me, if you done 10, 15 mixing, you will be judging the amount perfectly. So don't be scared, just go ahead and start practicing. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.